It was a cold January morning in 2009, just after 10 a.m., when 23-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo climbed into his shiny red Ferrari 599 GP Fiorano. The car was one of his favorites, a powerful machine with a V12 engine that could roar up to 205 miles per hour. He had bought it not long ago, and he loved the feel of it on the open road. Ronaldo lived in a big house in Cheshire, England, and that day, like most days, he was heading to Manchester United's training ground in Carrington. He had played a match the night before, coming on as a substitute in a Carling Cup game against Derby County, but he felt fresh and ready for another session with the team. The route he took was familiar. He drove along the A538 Wilmslow Road, a busy stretch that led toward Manchester Airport. The road dipped into a long tunnel that ran right under the airport runways. It was a two-lane tunnel, narrow and echoing, with concrete barriers on both sides. Planes thundered overhead as they took off and landed, but down in the tunnel, it was just the hum of tires and the occasional flash of headlights. The morning was dry, the road clear, no rain or ice to worry about. Ronaldo pressed the accelerator, enjoying the speed as the Ferrari responded instantly, pushing him back into the leather seat. He entered the tunnel at high speed. The walls closed in, and the light changed from bright daylight to the dim glow of overhead lamps. Everything happened in seconds. The car suddenly lost grip, maybe a slight oversteer on the curve, or perhaps he took the bend a bit too fast. The rear end slid out, and Ronaldo tried to correct it, turning the wheel sharply. But the Ferrari spun across the carriageway. The front left side slammed hard into the concrete barrier with a deafening crash. Metal twisted and screamed as the car scraped along the wall. Sparks flew, and one of the front wheels sheared clean off, bouncing and rolling hundreds of meters down the tunnel. The Ferrari bounced off the first barrier, careened to the other side, and smashed into the opposite wall before finally coming to a stop in a cloud of dust and smoke. The wreckage was horrific. The once perfect Ferrari looked like it had been crushed in a giant vise. The front end was mangled, the driver's side crumpled inward, panels torn and hanging loose. The detached wheel lay far away, and long black skid marks scarred the road. Debris scattered everywhere, bits of red bodywork, glass from shattered lights, and pieces of tire. The car was a total write-off, worth over 200,000 pounds, reduced to scrap in an instant. Anyone looking at the scene would think no one could walk away from that. It looked like the kind of accident that ended lives or left people seriously hurt. But then, the driver's door creaked open. Cristiano Ronaldo stepped out. He climbed from the wreckage slowly, his legs steady, no blood, no broken bones. He stood there on the side of the road, looking a bit shocked, his hair still perfect, his clothes untouched. Not a single scratch on him. He breathed deeply, taking in the damage to his beloved car. His heart must have been pounding from the adrenaline, but he stayed calm. A teammate, goalkeeper Edwin van der Sar, was driving behind him that morning and saw the whole thing happen. He pulled over immediately, shocked at the sight of the destroyed Ferrari. Police arrived quickly, along with emergency services. Officers spoke to Ronaldo at the scene. They gave him a breathalyzer test, which he passed easily. He hadn't been drinking. No other cars were involved, so it was just a single-vehicle accident. Ronaldo explained what happened. He lost control, hit one wall, then the other. The police noted everything down, but there was no one to blame except perhaps the speed and the tricky tunnel. Witnesses who drove past later said Ronaldo looked bewildered, standing next to the mangled car, but completely fine. One person described him as looking forlorn, staring at the heap of metal that used to be his pride and joy. Edwin van der Sar offered him a lift the rest of the way. Ronaldo accepted, climbing into the passenger seat of the more sensible car. They drove the short distance to the Carrington training complex. Most people would have gone home after something like that, called in sick, or at least taken the day to recover from the shock. But not Ronaldo. He arrived at training as if nothing had happened. He changed in his kit, laced up his boots, and joined the session with the rest of the team. Teammates stared in disbelief when they heard the news. Sir Alex Ferguson, the manager, couldn't believe it either. Ronaldo trained fully that day, running drills, practicing shots, working hard like always. News spread fast. Photographers and reporters rushed to the tunnel, snapping pictures of the wrecked Ferrari being towed away on a flatbed truck. The images went around the world. The red supercar destroyed, front wheel missing, sides caved in. Headlines screamed about how lucky he was. Many called it a miracle. Experts looked at the photos and said the Ferrari's strong build probably saved him. The chassis designed to absorb impacts, airbags that deployed perfectly. But still, walking away unharmed from a high-speed crash like that was rare. Some said angels must have been watching over him, or that his fitness and quick reflexes helped him brace just right. Ronaldo didn't say much publicly at first. He was private about it, focusing on football. But later, in interviews, he admitted it was scary. He knew how close it had been. That crash could have changed everything. At 23, he was the best player in the world, fresh off winning the Ballon d'Or, leading Manchester United to glory. One wrong split-second difference, and his career, his life, might have ended in that tunnel. Yet he survived without a mark. It became one of those stories people tell about him. The day death came close, but missed. The airport even made an insurance claim for the damaged barriers. Ronaldo's insurers handled it. He didn't drive that Ferrari again, of course. It was gone forever. But he bought others. Life went on. That same year, he helped United win the Premier League again, scored goals, dazzled fans. Months later, he moved to Real Madrid for a world record fee, starting the next chapter of his legendary career. People often wonder what went through his mind that morning. Standing there amid the wreckage, feeling the cold air, hearing sirens. Did he think about his family back in Madeira? About how far he'd come from a poor kid on a small island to global superstar? Or did he just shake it off like he does with tackles on the pitch? Ronaldo has always had that unbreakable mindset. Pain, setbacks, close calls, he pushes through them. That day in the tunnel proved it. The car was destroyed, but he wasn't. He got back up, went to work, and kept chasing greatness. Years later, fans still talk about it. Videos and posts call it the night or morning Ronaldo cheated death. Photos of the crashed Ferrari pop up whenever someone doubts his luck or his strength. But for Ronaldo, it was just another test he passed. He turned 40 recently, still playing at the top level, still scoring, still winning. That crash reminds everyone how fragile life is, even for the rich and famous. One moment you're flying high in a supercar, the next it's all twisted metal. But if you're Cristiano Ronaldo, you walk away, train hard, and become even stronger. The tunnel under Manchester Airport is still there, planes still flying over it every few minutes. Drivers pass through without knowing the story most days. But sometimes someone remembers. That was the spot where the world's greatest footballer survived what should have been deadly.